Thank you so much for rocking out with me. I just want to say thank you so much for coming over here and joining my family. Now, I like these sessions that I be having in the morning time because I feel like I be having a whole bunch of people who's still up, who's about to go to sleep, or maybe people who are going to start their day. So, on the title of my live is talking about unconditional love, right? Now, the most powerful thing that I think I played on my YouTube channel was the lady who was talking about the spirit of a man, right? Now, everybody want to keep going to these seminars, or everybody is searching because the search bar is so active right now with just, I guess, people trying to learn the understanding of, well, a relationship. But what is a relationship? A relationship can never be a relationship if it doesn't have unconditional love, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand what unconditional love is. And then I heard something, and I want to talk about it because I have a very good argumental point about what she said, because I say this shit all the time. So I'm happy that she said some weird stuff like that. But I always like to say, and maybe I'll start saying this on my channel and on my podcast, because I got to do an upload too on my podcast. All these women want to know if a guy really likes me, or however that it may be, or however it might go, right? So there's always be a flag that should always come up in all of my baby girls' minds, or even some of the mid ladies who don't know or you don't understand, right? I always say, for if a guy is really interested in you, or a guy is really considering you, or he is saying that he might have feelings and emotions for you, and however that it might go, right? The most important thing that she said that a lot of people don't understand is that before the two of us actually lay down in the bed, actually, is if it was like a discussion or argument or however that it may go, and he sees that you're not in a good space, right? And he knows that maybe you feel some type of way about something. He's not even going to really allow you to even have that within your spirit. He's not even going to let that shit. I should stop cursing. Please, Lord, help me to stop cursing because it's so not nice. But he's not even going to allow you to go to sleep like that, because he's not even going to want that type of a burden on you. The same way I feel like, as a woman, we should never even allow him, if we especially had some type of a disagreement, right? Nobody should allow the rollover. What's a rollover? The rollover is the rollover of any type of a situation, any type of a problem that can escalate, and it can roll over to another situation. What's another situation? It can roll over to Monday. It can roll over to Tuesday. It can roll over to Wednesday. And then those problems become fester, and then those problems start to damper something that is amazing, and people don't understand that. So if a man, or if you're looking for a man, however that it may be, and he will allow you to, mm, slick person. Because I was looking at an interview with an interviewer, and she was interviewing a guy, and she was asking him, these niggas are out of their mind. But she was asking him, like, do you be in a relationship? And he was like, no, nowadays I prefer just situationships, because a situationship comes with limited, you heard what I said, boy. Because I said so. You hear me? My house is different. Listen, my house, my kids are not like regular kids. I'll tell you. It's totally different. So you see what time it is. My baby's still up. So anyway, he said he prefer being in a situationship, right? Because it comes with limited responsibilities, and it also comes with limited benefits. So I always like to say, for that clause is because of the emotional part that people have to give in, or maybe the emotional part that somebody have, so they limit that access of actually developing feelings like that and putting in control, so you can be like, well, listen, you already understand this. But I always like to say, right, if unconditional love doesn't come with a place of peace, a place of balance, a place of where he can't go without not actually seeing you. You know what I mean? Meaning seeing you, talking to you. I don't give a fuck if it's just a text or just making himself be aware that. And that's what be the problem, because I feel like some men don't give that awareness, or don't make some women feel like they're being seen, right? And so, yeah, it could be like that, and it could be on the other side. And this is why problems. But I say again, if you're seeking for unconditional love, right? Unconditional love is like a band-aid, right? Through every situation and through everything that you go, it's always a band-aid there. It's like a mama bear, or it's like a papa bear, right? So he's going to make sure he's going to be present. He's going to make sure he values your feelings. He's going to make sure you understand, right? And that's what a lot of relationships don't have. The understanding part, which the understanding part brings the communication part, right? So if a man doesn't show you all of these qualities, right, that he most importantly care about your mind space, right? Because I always like to say, for love can be used two ways, right? Love can either be used to control somebody, or love can actually be used to heal people. So because of certain people don't know what love is, or because a woman or a man is gullible enough to be controlled by that, not knowing the true understanding of that. Because love, as much as they say it, right, but I always say, for love doesn't, it's not supposed to hurt, but it do. And it only hurt when people don't understand that part of it. So I always like to say that. I always like to say that. So I always like to say, so you can. So it's Monday. So you went without you went without talking to me on Monday. You went without seeing that I was okay on Monday. The little certain things that people are supposed to be, like the memories or however that it may be. So you wasn't present for that. So people have to look at that. So then you have to look at that. Am I just giving a different type of support? What's the different type of support? The different type of support is because somebody else can't get this support here, they can get it somewhere. So now guess what? I'm coming over here. So as I'm filling you up here, now you can go over there and you can get something else. And that's very, very tacky, and it's very, very taboo. Now what this other lady said, which I want to talk about, because I always say this, and I didn't even know that women thought this, because I don't think like this. Like she said, for after some women have banished this nigga up and created him how the fuck she wanted to create him. I don't mean to curse like that. But then now another woman comes and take him, and then you have some women who feel like, that's what she said, because I ain't never say that. Now she feel like she's taking somebody, or somebody else is taking him, right? So I always like to say, sometimes for some women, as hard it may be for them to understand this, that's why some women have to be careful. And you like, why be careful? Because at the end of the day, everything that or whoever that it may be doing, um, you can be doing all of that shit, like she said, for the next person. Because maybe, I don't know, the roads and the situations, or however that it may be that you go with through this person, he's just using this as a lesson, right? So if you're now showing him how to love, how to take care of a personal space, to do this, that, and the third, I guess you really didn't, I don't know, put up whatever type of clause that you want, and now all of a sudden she has that. You should have never did that, right? And I always look at that sometimes, for I always say, maybe I can't, maybe I'm just not the one for him that can give him everything that he needs, right? Maybe it's meant for somebody after me, after I leave, that maybe he can get everything that he needs to get, because I feel like that's why I always say we're all designed a Pacific person. We're all designed a Pacific me. What do that mean? For now I understand him, or now he understands me, and he can be able to do, and I can be able to do everything that we need to do. That's why the chairs and the tables always turn like that. And this is why you have some people who finally can get to this part where they can be able to live, where they can be able to grow, and they can be able to mix and stuff like that. So yeah, I always say that. So people, men and women, both parties, we would give off different signals and stuff like that, or we would show our gratitude, our appreciation totally different. Especially if you really care and you really want somebody and you really want them to be part of your life, or however that it may be, right? People tell people on a daily basis how they really feel, right? It's just sometimes we don't pay attention to the signs. We don't pay attention to the little the pieces that we miss. So I always like to say, okay, well, are you really living in a real reality, or are you living in a fantasy world? Because sometimes you have people who are living in a fantasy world on something that just will never ever be. So now they become stuck somewhere for a very, very long time, and when they actually come to reality about things for the way that it is, they become very, very bitter, and they feel like they have wasted their time, years and years being with somebody. But people, we as people always show our real true signs, or our real true feelings of how we feel about somebody. Yeah, and that was deep. And then the last part, what I seen, which was so important, because I never really looked at it until I'm looking at it now. Because this interviewer was asking a guy, and he was, I guess he was talking about his first girlfriend, or whoever that he left after he became successful. And I didn't understand that. For a lot of people, maybe can tell that story for. Damn, I hate when I have to tell my business. Damn it, I be thinking people be listening to me. But he said the first people are usually the ones that go, like, for instance, say us, right? Because we're all trying to build a life for ourselves, or are trying to do a whole bunch of different things. So if we're constantly staying up at night, or we're trying to create certain things, and you just have a partner who just is just naggy, they're naggy, they naggy, but they see that we're trying to do a whole bunch of different things, right? But they're giving a whole bunch of problems and doubts and shit like that. Or because of they don't understand the motion, they don't understand what you have to do to get to where you need to be. It becomes very, very frustration. And as people are trying to build themselves up to be very, very successful, you have to deal with a partner who don't understand that you being in a comfortable space where you can be able to create the way that you need to create, instead of them saying, where you going? Where you going? What you doing? And all of that extra stuff. And people don't need that, because when it's actually time for people to actually mobilize and be able to go where they need to go, those problems will fester, because a lot of people don't need that type of aggravation. So he said, he's crazy. He said for he had to remove that from out of the way, and that's why people have to get people who understand their drive, because you be surprised the mental state that an insecurity person have to would do to a person that's trying to grind, because they don't understand that. So because of the way that you may be going, and the way that you're going about it, or maybe because of the traction and stuff that comes with whatever that you're doing, they have to deal with their own image, meaning their own reflection, meaning their own self-love, their own self confidence, or the way that they're supposed to trust you and back you the way that they're supposed to. And because they don't do that, it just makes people don't want to be home. It makes people don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? And you can see the disrespect from out of that. And that'll push somebody away from actually wanting to do exactly what they need to do, and that's being the best version that they need to be able to dominate and to do stuff like that. But I was so happy that I seen that, because I thought that I was bugging. because I don't think I could probably say because I took it down a while ago because of the because I come on here and I have a lot of people that that I interact with or I talk to, so I try to be at well, I'm a very humble woman. I'm not nasty, I'm not ignorant, but I always try to put like a respect thing about it, but it's very very different for girls, and it could be very very weird, so I understand that part. Like at one point in the time I always used to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna be here, and I had to get to the point where I had to stop doing that, you know what I mean? Or after where I go somewhere, I always want to make sure that I'm not actually where I'm at when I'm actually doing a live or I'm telling people, because that can be the fucking worst thing, that you'll just have people. Because now on some of my pages, like I get freaked out sometimes because I would just have people do the weirdest stuff. You know what I mean? And it's the weirdest shit just be happening. So people have to understand that part. So yeah, so it can be very very tempting. I always go through a lot of different stuff like, what are you doing, why are you doing this for, or oh, and then it can be like, well, you need to do this or you need to do that, and then when I'm trying to be in motion to do a whole bunch of different things, the things that I need to do, I get a lot of back for it. So um, people that's trying to move the way that they need to move, they really don't understand that aspect. So your mind have to be so strong. You have to believe in it, because it's very crazy when you have both sides that you have to fight against. You got to fight against the masses or whatever that you're doing to try to get yourself out there, and then you have to fight in-house. The in-house is the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the insecurities, a whole bunch of different shit. A motherfucker don't want you to do the shit, so they want to keep causing problems, and that shit can drive people crazy. It really can. So people have to find balance. So that's why I'm like, oh, okay, now I see why people only deal with people, in the same profession, because they know that, especially when people are um, like working really really hard, because even though a lot of people don't really see, I'm always constantly on my phone. Like I'm constantly on my phone, and I always get I shouldn't be telling this so much, but I always get a lot of like pushback. That's why before I will always go through my like different phases. So I love that DDG said that, because that was powerful, because I had to at one point in time, I want to be honest, because a lot of people, I don't think that people understand. I think only people who maybe have big accounts, or when you can post something and it could go very very good, it also goes from that magnitude, actually being able to have a lot of eyes and stuff like that look on you. You know what I mean? So people, it's a lot of different things that you have to go through with that. It's very very I like to say it would test how strong you are. I think everything in life, it tests your faith, and it tests how much that you want something that you're saying that you're going after. That's why it's very very important to have support teams, and people who really believe in you, that can push you, right? Because that's the worst. And I always say, for I be sounding so crazy, but I'll be like, yo, I'm taking the list. You like what? I'll be like, I'm taking the list of the things and how I was treated, because that's how it be sometimes, especially when you're trying to do whatever that you're trying to do. And you will see a whole bunch of different things. You will see snakes, a whole bunch of different things that come from out of it, right? And I think that sometimes be bad for people who are already successful like that, but because they don't know. So now it's like they always have to come back, or they got to come back and do like a cleanup house. And at that particular time, once they come back, their backyard be so full with so many different like like bad people. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But I was just really thinking. I was really really thinking. It triggers me sometimes. That's only why that I say that sometimes. But I like that. I like when I can get triggered, and I hope that the things that I talk about, or the things that I share, or however I do, it always makes a person think about um the right way. I want everything right. want everything the right way. What the fuck is the right way? Yo, that's crazy. And you know what I'm noticing too? It's okay for people to say that they're scared. I don't think that people understand that. Like, it's okay for people to say that they're scared because you can have some different connections and bonds with people that could be very, very scary. And you're like, what do I mean by that? A relationship that you can feel like, oh man, I would just hurt somebody over her. I would hurt somebody over him because of the way that you feel, because people are feeling passion within their spirit, within their vessel that they have never felt. So when you have I was gonna say it, well, it could be like that, a presence, a force like that, it's very, very traumatizing because those be the shit sometimes if things doesn't work out. People go like they go insane, they go mad, and that's why you have a lot of people who give up on love and shit like that because of people experience that type of a part of their heart and it got broken and it got shattered. Right? I think everybody wants a happy ever after. It's just the dealings of the people that you deal with that would change your perception if you want to get to that point where you want to give somebody your last name, where you want to be with somebody. So for people to feel certain like that, I don't understand why certain people just can't express that. It's not like a weakness because sometimes people think by them showing that part of their self that is weakness. Not for everybody, but you have to give some type of awareness to the situation that's going on. Because how the fuck would I know? I shouldn't be cursing. That's what your problem is, right? So I know you care about me. I know you got some type of fucking feelings, or however that it may be, but you're not addressing that, right? So that makes me think a whole bunch of different things. That makes me think that I don't know. That makes me think that you don't want me as much as I might want you. You know what I mean? That makes me feel a whole bunch of different things. So then that makes me put up my guard. It makes me want to step back when I shouldn't be wanting to step back because I want to run closer to you. You know what I mean? I want to embrace this. Mhm. So, people have to like really be a grown man about certain things, and women have to be a grown woman. That's when you have to put on your big pants and talking and say it. It's nothing like I said before. It's nothing like understanding. Don't nobody need to be. I say that I'm gonna keep saying. Don't nobody need to be in that space. It should never be a tug and pull. We should always be going forward, never backwards. Especially within your own situation, within going on with whoever that you want. So yes, it comes back to what I said before. It goes back to the unconditional love then, and then you don't want people to question that. And I'm like, okay, well, you really don't care. I always say that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You let the days just keep going past. Keep going past. You don't say enough. That hurts more when that part happened. Cause it's like Casper the ghost, and that's where the ghosting part. I was talking about that shit before. Ghosting is very, very good sometimes. It is, but then sometimes it's not. And then I shouldn't be laughing. I don't know why people scared of people. Why people scared of people? People ain't gonna hurt people. People ain't gonna bite people. Damn, that's what it is again. They said, there you go. I hate when I not tapping. I always like to have people say pureness, but I can know. I can look at somebody. That's just how I am. I already gonna know what it is. So people don't have to lie to me, however that it may be. I shouldn't say it like that, but I think that's what some people have. Even some men, like as much as we can be like, I hate this man. I don't like him. I'm not dealing with him. He'd be like, she'd be all right. She just mad right now. She'll calm down in a minute, but in a minute. And if you got it like that, then I don't know what the problem is. It's like I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the hold is. Dangerous love. I was trying to put that up there too. Yeah, I understand. I understand. I understand. But don't nobody at this time of age want to get their heart broke, right? And I think men are cowards when they can't admit that and honestly say that. They block out on their own blessings. So now I understand that video that I put up, and that's why some men like situationships, right? Because some men are not. They don't want to, I don't know, put up their big boy pants and just do what they have to do. So they're content with the doors of rotation always revolving around a funny looking big headed ass all the time. Until I guess one day they actually get stopped, and then that's what it is. When somebody say you're mirroring somebody, they're making you reflect, and that can be triggering too for both parties, because now I'm making you reflect on all the shit that you were running from, you were hiding from, right? People have been running from their issues, their problems for a very, 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 very long time. God bless us women like me. Like what? People like, no, no. What is the issue? Sometimes I can be like that sometimes. Like, no. And I think that's a good thing. Why the fuck you want to keep running around? You're like, what? Like, no, you gotta talk about it, like, so you can feel better. Like, I always think about that. Like, don't you want to feel better? People always talking about they want to be happy. They want this, that, and the third, but they don't want to be happy. They don't want that, because if they did, they would. It's so easy. Very, very easy. And you guys need to be careful too, because once a woman, like I feel like that too about everything. Don't nobody want to feel like, I don't want nothing forced though anyway. I hate that. That shit make me cry. I'm such a gangster, but then I'm such a like a crybaby. That should have made me cry, because that then it'd be like, damn, it's not pure. Because then I feel like I'm forcing. People shouldn't people shouldn't have to feel like they're forcing, or if they feel like they're forcing, then they're also retreat. So it's almost like, oh shit, what I was gonna say. It's almost like when you got somebody right there, but then because you do something, it's pushing it back 3 to 4 steps harder. So for you to actually get what you wanted to get from out of me, I'm gonna be I'm gonna give you more of a fight for you to get that from out of me, because you already pushed me back to the point where I don't know. That's crazy. And then it comes all over the place. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. Very disrespectful for anybody to do anything like that. I hope everybody purge themselves. You like what? People need to purge themselves. That's what I've been doing. I just been purging myself of everything, anything, anybody that just it's just not good. Because I refuse to bring my new year 2026 with that same energy. I don't want to walk in fear. You know what I mean? People do that shit. They walk in fear. They walk in their own personal judgment. They walk in their own guilt. They walk in their own shit that they have done to themselves, or what people have done to them. And that's the worst energy that you can bring, especially when you're starting off a new cycle into the new year, or that's just an everyday life. And it's crazy. I wanted to say something else before I end my live. What else I wanted to say? Mm, that's it. Oh man, I can't stand the unknown sometimes. I love the unknown, because in the unknown you can. The unknown is when you're dealing with your another side of yourself that you have never dealt with in your life. The unknown is dealing with a whole bunch of occurrences, meaning a whole bunch of situations, things that happen that you don't have control of, and that's how I am. I'm not saying that I'm controlling, but I like to control shit. I like to control the way of however things is going, and for a person that like to control the ending, or however that it may be, sometimes when you're faced with that, you're like, yo, what's going on? It's like something that could just happen. Like, it's like somebody gonna pop up and you're like, what you doing here? Like, what you mean? Like, no, what you doing here? Like, that's the unknown, not being able to control however the whatever that's going. People run from it. But that's all I wanted to say. Oh, and I also want to say this too, because People, I don't know what world people live in, and I don't know why I'm saying this. For this is what happens for a lot of people. For